Podcast.
Sometimes you see something and you think, man, that would be a good podcast episode. And that just happened to me. This episode is going to sound a little bit different because I'm recording it in a different way. I will talk about that, and I will also give you some helpful information on how to deal with publicists when you are doing a guest booking. This is Big Podcast Playbook. This is the podcast. If you want to grow your podcast audience, make a podcast that people care about. My name is David Hooper. BigPodcast.com is the website, and you might be able to hear a chair rocking back and forth. That's me with all this nervous tension dealing with a publicist. You might also hear something outside my office window because I'm recording this from an office, not my studio. So let's get into it. Right now, I am in the process of booking a guest. Let's take a look at what I got. This is, I'm looking for a trauma surgeon, a blood bank medical director, Red Cross medical expert, or trauma nurse. This is for a segment I am doing for broadcast radio, and it is about the blood shortage that we have. When there's a traffic accident or surgery and somebody needs blood, people donate to Red Cross or a blood bank. That's how we get our blood. And there's a shortage on that because people don't donate as often in the summer, and people are out during the summer and they're having more accidents. So we need blood. I've got somebody that I'm working with. I'm not going to say her name because I've got to protect the innocent and also the guilty here. And it's interesting. She's got a Yahoo mailing address, yahoo.com. So that's kind of a sign. Normally somebody that I would be working with as far as a publicist, especially if it's a legitimate publicist, they're going to have a domain name that they're working from. So I'm going to give this woman a little bit of grace and think, well, maybe she's new, or she's, I don't know, virtual assistant, maybe somebody who isn't in this country and isn't necessarily aware. But to give a background on this is a national show, reaches a big audience, and there's a great opportunity here for somebody, a trauma surgeon, blood bank medical director, Red Cross medical expert, trauma nurse, the people that I'm asking for to come in and talk about the blood shortage. And let's get some blood in the veins of people who need it. So she reached out to me. Hi, I work with trauma experts at... I'm happy to set you up with an interview. Please let me know if you're still searching and I will connect you. She doesn't say anything about specifically who she's going to connect me with or say why they would be good. She just gives the name of the company and let me know. I'll connect you. I got back to her. I said, yeah, I'm still looking. Hey, I just want to confirm in your original ask, you say it is a live interview. Is that still correct? And I say, yes, this is for a live nationwide radio show. She says, great. Would you have time slots we can choose from? My team is trying to find the right trauma doctor based on availability. And I ignored her at that point because I'm not going to let somebody choose a slot when I don't know who that somebody is. I know the name of the company, but I can't just have random people showing up for a live broadcast show, especially one as big as this. It's not like it's a podcast interview that if it doesn't go well, I can ditch it. But even if it was, I'm not going to do that because I want to know what I'm getting into. And I said, do you have a specific person in mind? I need to review people before we agree to get them on. Then she finally comes back, and this has been a few days since this whole interaction is going. Yes, Dr. She's trauma medical director. She's been a pivotal part of the newer whole blood program and alongside the fire department. And it's a program where firefighters and EMTs pick up whole blood from the hospital. They carry it onto the ambulances so they can administer whole blood in the field at the scene before arriving at the hospital, dramatically increasing chances of survival. She's very well versed on this topic. And I'm thinking, great, because that's exactly what I want to talk about, how important blood is when it comes to saving people. And I tell her I've got some availability for this guest. This is the link that you asked for. Go there to get a slot. Here's what I want to talk about, whole blood in the ambulance. That is the topic. I wanted to talk about that program, and I want to give people who are on the highways and might have a need for whole blood to save their lives hope, and let them know that their chances of survival are better, hopefully encouraging people to donate whole blood so we can save more people. She comes back the next day with questions. Hey, some additional questions for you from the team before we schedule. One, what show is this for? I've already told her what show this is for. Two, can you provide questions ahead of time so we can determine if Dr. Z is able to weigh in? This will also help her prep. Well, you already told me she's able to weigh in. Why are you wasting my time telling me you've got somebody who's able to weigh in on this topic and what an expert she is? Now you want to know the questions? No, I told you the topic. If she is a topic expert, she should be able to weigh in. So the answer to that is no. No, I'm not going to give you questions. I don't know what the questions are. This is not a script reading. This is an interview. And the topic of this interview is what I said. It is whole blood. You are a doctor. You work with this program. You were there with firefighters and EMTs getting this whole blood into the veins of people who need it. So anything that I ask about whole blood, I'm not a whole blood expert. You are. You should be able to answer that with no issue. It goes on. Do you have sample links from doctors you've interviewed in the past so we can get a sense of the style of the show? No, I do not. No, I don't. And the reason is because I've already let you know what the show is. I've already let you know what the topic is. I've already let you know what I'm looking for. This thing was already in a deficit before we got to this point. The only reason I've still been talking to her is because I believe in this story and I think it's important. I think we can save lives, letting them know, one, whole blood donation is important. We've got a blood shortage and I want to save lives. That is the only reason I'm still talking to her. This is not a run-of-the-mill story for me. But at the same time, I'm not desperate. We're talking about trauma surgeons. We're talking about people with Red Cross. Most people in those positions, because they also understand the importance of this topic, they would love to come on national radio and talk about it. And I bring this all up to say is you are in the same situation. And it doesn't matter if your podcast is national or regional or local or something that's niche focused. It does not matter if you've got 100 people, 1,000 people, or 10,000 people. If you have the person that the guest wants to reach, that topic to person match, even if it's just 100 people, I'm going to put that just in quotes. Imagine speaking to 100 people in front of you. If they're a perfect match for it, that's good. That can make a real difference. Hey, you know what I heard today? A story about whole blood. Maybe we should go donate blood. There's a shortage right now. It's an important message to get out there. It would take somebody 30 minutes to get that message out to that 100 people. And that's assuming you had 100 people. I've got a lot more than that. This woman is putting me through the ringer. I got a lot of guests and a lot of stories that I'm working on. As a podcaster, if you're interviewing people, you do too. I'm dropping it. I already ignored it because I got a bad feeling about it. She came back to me, well, give this lady a chance. I'm dropping it. And I'm putting this out here to say that you are not desperate for guests. They need you. Celebrities, and let's put that in quote, experts, and put that in quotes too. They are not considered celebrities or experts without us. I'm not trying to make this an us versus them thing, but they need us more than we need them. Yeah, we need great guests, but there are a lot of great guests, especially when you've got a great show. If you're doing what I talk about here on Big Podcast Playbook, you have a great show. You are showing up. You are doing pre-interviews. You are editing your audio. You are making people sound good. That is rare. Yeah, there are a lot of podcasts out there, but how many people are putting in the time and the effort and the energy that you are? Not many. How many experts are there willing to show up and talk for 30 minutes? A bunch. It's an ego stroke for them. Again, it's not an us versus them thing. I don't want you to ever get into a situation where it's you fighting the guest. No. I'm simply saying that you don't really need them. So stop settling for guests and working with publicists that aren't going to show up in the way that you need them to. You do not need to give questions in advance. That is not a standard thing. This is not a script. This is an interview. Maybe you'd even call it a conversation. You do not need to baby these people. Now you could, but probably what's going to happen, and I say this from doing thousands of interviews, and I mean literally thousands. Right now for this show, I'm booking 30 guests per week. Now that's production. That's not actually interviewing and hosting, but I'm involved on a day-to-day basis. As far as a host, I've done hundreds of them. So I've been on all sides of this. And I can tell you that what's most likely to happen is that this is a person who's going to be nervous, especially on live nationwide radio. It's not going to be great. She's probably not going to do the work to show up with the mic that she needs to show up. She'll have a built-in mic on a computer, maybe AirPods, so it's not going to sound great, even if the information is good. And it's not going to be that great. I've got enough people that want to work with me, and you have enough people that want to work with you, that we do not have to spend all this extra time babying one guest or one publicist, holding their hands and saying, oh, it's going to be okay. No, you're doing great. No, they need to show up. If they want to get involved with podcasting and being interviewed, they need to show up, they need to do the work, and they need to come correct. So that's my rant of the day. This format of me finding this kind of stuff and just talking into a mic, the one I've got in front of me, SM57, I'm going into a Vocaster 1, straight into Audacity. This allows me to get episodes out quicker. You may be hearing more of these, especially if you subscribe to this podcast. And let me tell you how to do it before I sign off here. Go to bigpodcast.com/subscribe. Some of the kids, they call it follow. Whether you call it follow or subscribe, the URL is the same. And I've got 3 buttons for you when you go to that page. Again, the page, bigpodcast.com/subscribe. You will find a button for iPhone. You will find a button for Android. You will find a button with an RSS feed. If you go to bigpodcast.com/subscribe, one click is all it takes. You can subscribe. You will get all these episodes, all the other episodes that I do, all of them about growing your podcast audience, getting more people to your podcast, making people care, making money, making a podcast that matters. And don't you want that? Think about that. An interview like I'm trying to set up in this situation, whole blood donation, that can literally save lives. And you have that much power with your podcast. So go there right now, bigpodcast.com/subscribe. Let's tap into that power. And I'll see you on the next episode of Big Podcast Playbook.